Good morning, and thank you for attending our April webinar on unlocking the potential of nitrogen-fixing bacteria. We've got an hour packed of information. So we have Dr. Ankita, who will be talking about what nitrogen-fixing bacteria is, and most importantly is how can it help your crops and also reduce your input costs. We're also very excited to have Jay from ACC, Agricultural Credit Corporation, to join us to talk about the loan program. So they're a nonprofit agency that works with the government to provide loans to up to $1 million for farmers. And the first $250,000 is interest free. So we're very lucky and to have Jay. So he's going to be presenting around 9:40 to talk about the ACC program. So I'm going to turn this over to Ankita. There's just one last word about these webinar series that we host every month. The purpose of it is to help share knowledge about microbes and the power of what they can do to help in contributing to sustainable agriculture. How you can improve your plant health, your soil health, and your crop health. But I think most importantly, you'll see a return in investment, as your soil health improves. So these educational webinars are hosted on a monthly basis, and we do have a blog that we publish approximately 2 weeks before, and this way you have a chance to read about it and then have those thoughts percolate and attend our webinar. So our webinars are recorded, so this way you will have an opportunity to rewatch them if you need, or for those who are unable to attend. So thank you very much for attending, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Ankita.
Thank you so much, Lee. Let me briefly introduce myself. I am Dr. Ankita. I am PhD in plant pathology and worked as a scientific officer in organic farming department in Ministry of Agriculture, India. And I worked for quality control testing of biofertilizers and organic fertilizers, as well as I did isolation, culturing, and of biological control agents and many microbes. And I used to conduct training programs for farmers, industry people, agriculture growers, and farmers to create awareness about organic and natural farming. So today I'm here to talk about unlocking the potential of nitrogen-fixing bacteria in sustainable agriculture. Here, since we are directly or indirectly related to agriculture, and to grow our crop and to get maximum yield, we need to provide nutrients to the plants so that plants can grow and give us good yield. And for getting good yield, we need to provide essential nutrients to the plant, and nitrogen is one of the essential nutrient, macronutrient, which is required by plant for their growth and development. To provide this nitrogen, people provide synthetic fertilizers and all, but there is number of negative impact of those fertilizers in the plant, in the soil, and water. We all know this thing that there is water contamination, soil contamination because of the excessive use of synthetic fertilizers. So at this point of time, biological nitrogen fixation is a great alternative to minimize the use of synthetic fertilizers. Biological nitrogen fixation is a process in which nitrogen fixing bacteria are helpful in fixing the atmospheric nitrogen and make it in easy form, and so that plant can easily absorb them and can grow faster. And this biological nitrogen fixing process is a main process, or I can say like it is a key role in for the promotion of for promoting sustainable agriculture, because by using this biological nitrogen fixation, we are less dependent on chemical fertilizers and we are going towards sustainable agriculture. Now let's talk about importance of nitrogen in agriculture. Since nitrogen is essential nutrient for plants, as we all know, and this is the most important macronutrient which is required for the health of for healthy plant and maximum productivity. And because if the plants will not able to get proper nitrogen, there will be like chlorosis in the plant, they will turn yellow. So it is very important for the plants to grow, especially for the green growth of plant. Nitrogen is very important. Uh, but there are some challenges in the nitrogen availability uh, because since nitrogen is available in our atmosphere, around 78% of nitrogen is available in atmosphere, but plants are not able to absorb it directly. It is not available for plants to absorb directly. So there is a need to fix this available nitrogen and make it available for plants so that they can absorb and they can grow. And by fixing this atmospheric nitrogen, we can provide this nitrogen to the plants in a natural way. And because of using this nitrogen in a natural way, there will be less dependency in the use of synthetic fertilizer. So there will be less environmental impact because of the synthetic fertilizer if we use biological nitrogen fixation process, or if we use biological nitrogen fixing bacteria. Let's see what is the location and role of different microbes in different parts of plants. Um, because of the presence of microbes in the plants, we can divide it into three parts. First is the phyllosphere, which is the aerial part of plant surface where microbes can be present and do their activity. The second one is the endosphere, which is the internal plant compartment where the presence of microbes or can show their effectivity, like if any harmful pathogen can attack the plant, it can stimulate the internal defense system of plant, and other internal processes occurs in this endosphere. The third one is rhizosphere, which is very important because most of the microbes are present in the rhizosphere. So rhizosphere is the area which is in the soil near the root area. Many microbes are present. We call it rhizosphere. So zone of root exudates. Root also secretes certain type of exudates, uh, and all these processes occur in this rhizosphere. This is the place where all the microbes are present and their activity is done, and nutrient uptake, nitrogen fixation process is done in this rhizosphere. Other important thing is, like, if any pathogen can attack the plant, the microbes can release certain hormones or to fight with those pathogen and save the plant from any type of adverse effect done by pathogens. So we know in the earlier slide, we saw that where the microbes can be present in the plant, like they can be present in the aerial part, or in the root area. So if the plants are present, if we introduce the beneficial microorganism as nitrogen fixing bacteria or other type of fungi, algae, or any type of beneficial bacteria or microbes, what is the influence of that microbe in the plant growth and soil? So in this diagram, we can see that the microbes can show their activity by different ways. And this activity of the interaction between the microbes and plants can be a complex process, but let's try to understand it in a simpler way. Microbes can have the ability to fix atmospheric nitrogen, solubilize phosphorus, and potash and other micronutrients as well. And since this presentation is mainly focused on nitrogen fixing bacteria. So if we are talking about nitrogen fixing bacteria, they can be divided into other categories like symbiotic or asymbiotic. So the symbiotic bacteria, they make a nodule with the root and they do their activity from there, and they help in the fixation of nitrogen. Free living nitrogen fixing bacteria present in the soil where they do their activity freely in the soil and make the nitrogen available for plants. Apart from making like fixing this nitrogen, or if we talk about all the microbes, like fixing of nitrogen, solubilization of phosphorus and other micronutrients. So microbes are helping the plants to absorb or get those nutrients. In addition to this, the beneficial microbes have also the ability to increase or improve the overall health, soil health, by increasing the soil aggregation, increasing the soil porosity. They make the soil enrich in nutrients. So there are like many benefits, not a single benefit, but there are many benefits of these microbes. The additional one more benefit is because of the microbes increasing the nutrient content in the soil, or in helping the plant to take nutrients. They also help to fight with certain type of pathogens, especially certain type of soil borne pathogens. They secrete the uh, enzymes to fight with those certain type of pathogens. And additionally, there is one more additional character, that by using these type of microbes, we are less dependent on different type of chemical fertilizers as well. So before going towards the nitrogen fixing bacteria, let's try to understand the nitrogen cycle, because it is very important. Nitrogen fixing bacteria play a vital role in this nitrogen cycle. Uh, since atmosphere has nitrogen, around 78% of nitrogen, so there are different processes by which atmospheric nitrogen can be converted into nitrate or ammonium, which is easily available for plants. Plants can absorb this nitrogen. So this can be done by industrial fixation of nitrogen. And the second method is biological nitrogen fixation, and symbiotic nitrogen fixers, and associative type of nitrogen fixation, and free living nitrogen fixing bacteria are responsible for this process. So they convert the atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into ammonium and nitrate, which plants can easily absorb, and plants can use it for their growth and development. Uh, so to complete this nitrogen cycle, there is a process called in which the nitrate is converted again into atmospheric nitrogen. So in this process, other beneficial microbes are responsible for this process. So this is just to give you an idea about how nitrogen fixing bacteria play their role in nitrogen cycle, and to provide nutrition or make this nitrogen available for plant. Now, since we are talking about nitrogen fixing bacteria, this is very important to understand what are different type of nitrogen fixing bacteria. So nitrogen fixing bacteria can be divided into three main categories. First is symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria. For example, rhizobia and Frankia. These are the example of symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria, which are present in association with the root, and they produce a root nodule where these bacteria are present, and they get the optimum condition for everything. Since they are closely associated with plants, they fix nitrogen, and they fix the atmospheric nitrogen and make it available for plants. So they are responsible for maximum nitrogen fixation among other type of nitrogen fixing bacteria. The second one is associative nitrogen fixing bacteria, which are loosely associated with roots, like they don't make any type of root nodule. So they associate very closely to root, but not inside the root. So they can enter just to the outer layer or epidermal of the root, but not inside the root system. So azospirillum is one of the example, and there are other beneficial microbes comes under this category. The third one is free living nitrogen fixing bacteria, which present in the soil as a free living organism. They don't make any close association with the roots, but they are present in the soil as a free living organism, and they are helpful in fixing nitrogen and make it available for plants. Among these all three type of nitrogen fixing bacteria, symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria fixes maximum nitrogen and make it available for plant. Next slide. This is the biological nitrogen fixation process and its role in plant growth. So let's understand like how the nitrogen fixation process is occur in plants. Uh, so nitrogen available in atmosphere, we all know, but plants are not able to directly use it. So this is the example of symbiotic nitrogen fixation, and how it occurs and what is the role in plant growth. So if rhizobia is present in the soil, uh, they have these bacteria has some genes like nitrogenase genes, which is present in these bacteria, that is responsible to fix the atmospheric nitrogen, convert into ammonia or nitrate, and make so that plants can absorb them, and it will be helpful in enhancing plant growth and fruit production as well. So uh, if we again break it into more simple form, so let's try to understand this way. Since these nitrogen fixing bacteria are helpful in making nitrogen available for plant. Plants use this nitrogen to make chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the main component in the process of photosynthesis by which plants make their own food. So if more nitrogen is available, more chlorophyll will be there. More chlorophyll will be there, then more the process of photosynthesis will be more, and plant will get more food. So it will be helpful in the growth and development of plant. So in the simple language, you can understand this way, that if more nitrogen is available, so that's why if we provide more nitrogen, there is more green growth in the plants. This is the difference between symbiotic and free living nitrogen fixing bacteria. So symbiotic bacteria are present in close association with roots because since they take all the nutrients from the plants, so it is a symbiotic relation, right? So plants are able, what plants are getting, these bacteria are helping to fix the nitrogen and make it available for plant, which is helpful for the growth and development of plant. In return, the bacteria are getting nutrients from plant as well. So they are getting the favorable condition from the plant in symbiotic bacteria. But in case of free living bacteria, since they are present in the soil as a free living, the conditions are not very favorable because there are so many other factors which can affect the activity of these bacteria. So this is the difference between symbiotic and free living bacteria, that symbiotic bacteria always get a favorable environment because they are closely associated with plant, but free living bacteria are present outside. So the other external climatic condition or other factors also affect the activity of free living bacteria. So this can be one of the reason that symbiotic bacteria are able to fix more nitrogen in comparison to free living bacteria. So what are the factors which affect the nitrogen form uptake by plants? So since we are talking about different type of nitrogen fixing bacteria which make nitrogen available for plant, but there are number of factors which are responsible for this process, like how much nitrogen will be absorbed by plant or how much nitrogen can be fixed. So this is dependent upon different parts, as it can be dependent upon the plant properties, like what type of plants we are using, what is the nutrient requirement of that plant, and what development stage we are applying this nitrogen. The other factor is soil properties. It is also very important because what is the pH of soil, what is the temperature or moisture. So the other uh, factors of soil, like how the soil type, is also important for deciding this thing. The next is biotic interaction, like which type of microbes is present, which type of interaction between the microbes and the plant is done. So is it a symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria or it is a free living? What type of microbes, what strain of microbe is there? So this process is dependent upon all these three important factors, like plant type, soil type, and microorganisms. So all are responsible for this process. Now let's talk about benefits of nitrogen fixing bacteria. So by using these nitrogen fixing bacteria, first one is if we are using these type of nitrogen fixing bacteria, these help us to uh, make they are helpful in, like, we can less dependent upon fertilizer use. We are not saying like these will completely replace the nitrogen the other fertilizers, but we can reduce the amount of these synthetic fertilizer if we are keep using nitrogen fixing bacteria. So, and if the second is environmental sustainability, because if we are using like organic waste, nitrogen fixing bacteria or other microbes, this is a way we are saving our environment, soil, and plant health from any type of adverse effects. Next is improving soil health, because it is helpful in increasing the nutrient content, as well as I discussed in earlier slide also. It is helpful in overall soil health, as well as it is helpful in fighting with other harmful pathogens also. And the last one is cost effectiveness for farmers, because if we are using nitrogen fixing bacteria, we are reducing the need of expensive synthetic fertilizer. This is more applicable in most developing countries, where farmers are more relying on natural type of uh, processes as nitrogen fixing bacteria, which is more affordable. Instead of, they don't have that much money to go for different type of fertilizers, and also this is more applicable to those countries where they are more dependent on natural techniques instead of dependent on synthetic fertilizers. This is the example where uh, recommended improvement in yield and quality in grapes was observed when they used recommended dose of fertilizer. In addition to recommended dose of fertilizer, they use different type of biofertilizers, as for nitrogen fixing azotobacter, for potash and uh, phosphorus they use other microbes. And what they observed is, when they use the recommended dose of fertilizer with those different biofertilizers, they got the maximum uh, bunch weight and maximum number of vines in grapes. So this example is taken from research done in grapes. These are the example of benefits of reducing synthetic fertilizer use. So this question sometimes comes to, like, most of the time people ask that what how much we can dependent upon the these beneficial microbes, how much synthetic fertilizer we can minimize, what is the range for that. So as in the earlier slide, I discussed that it depends upon number of things, right? What type of plant we are using, what type of microbes we are using, what is our soil condition. So it depends upon so many factors. So these are some examples of different crops like apple, rice, tomato, some cereals and fruits from all over the world, like different region. Research has been done, and what they found in their research. So let's see in this. So first example is from China, in which they used nitrogen fertilizers, and uh, reduced the use of nitrogen fertilizer by 20% when they used bioorganic fertilizers. And what they found is, it is able to, they by the use of this, it was able to enhance the soil quality, increase leaf nutrient content and fruit yield, and significant improvement in the apple fruit quality. The second example is from Vietnam, in which what they have found is, they reduce the synthetic fertilizer, like instead of using 100%, they reduce the dose for 50 to 80%. And they have found that it is able to replace 23 to 52% of nitrogen without lowering crop yield in lowland rice. So this was done by farmers participatory research in around 20 farms. They did it for 4 growing period, and they found these results. The next example is, uh, what they have done is, they used 75% of fertilizer, and with that they used bioorganic fertilizer, and they have found that the yield was same. Uh, so instead of just dependent on chemical fertilizer, if we use it with biological biologicals, it is better to use that way, because it is helping to increase the yield, plus it is helping to maintain the soil nutrition, and helping the plant grow healthy, and making the soil also nutrient rich. So better to use this way. The next example is from Nepal, where 25% recommended dose of nitrogen and phosphorus could be reduced by soil application of biofertilizer, and it without compromising the grain yield of wheat. So these are some examples in which uh, they reduce the doses of synthetic fertilizers, and they have seen good results when they use synthetic fertilizers with biofertilizers. Let's talk about our technology in nurture growth biofertilizers. So there are many microbes 28 strains of microbes, and in which it is able to provide macronutrients, micronutrients to the plant. And if you talk about especially nitrogen fixing, nitrogen content of the providing nitrogen to the plant, there are nitrogen fixing bacteria. As for symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria, there is rhizobia, and for free living nitrogen fixation, there is azotobacter. So combining, they are able to provide the essential nitrogen for the plant, and it has a property of biofertilizers, biostimulant, and bioinoculants. And the microbes are present in very higher concentration. So whenever we want to use, we can dilute it and use it in the field. So now the conclusion, since now it is a time for going towards sustainable farming practices, because of the use of synthetic fertilizers, there are number of negative impact on soil and plant health. So it is sustainable farming practices is best to maintain soil fertility and good for plant health. And biological nitrogen fixation is a key component going towards sustainable agriculture, because it is by using this we are less dependent on synthetic nitrogen fertilizers, and we are uh, going towards sustainable. And nitrogen fixing bacteria, as we already discussed, different type of nitrogen fixing bacteria are there, which are helpful in this biological nitrogen fixing process. And by using these bacteria, we can go towards sustainable agriculture by reducing the dependency of chemical fertilizers in our soil and plants.
Let's hand over the floor to Jay. Jay is from Agricultural Credit Corporation, and I'm going to let you do your own introduction, but we're very happy to have you here to talk about the APP program.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, and appreciate the opportunity that Nurture Growth has provided, and we appreciate. I actually appreciated the presentation, Dr. Ankita, because my background is in agriculture and I'm a professional agronomist, so it's really interesting to hear some of the updates and some of the information you provided on sustainable agriculture and nitrogen or available nitrogen. So I appreciate those comments very much. So thanks, Lee. So a little bit about myself. I'm Jaye Atkins. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Agricultural Credit Corporation. ACC, it's also known as, has been around since 1992. So we're getting into about 30 years in business, something along that line. What we do is we administer programs for the provincial and the federal government. And one of the things is we see interest rates going up and banks becoming what I will call a little more conservative in their outlook in regards to lending. Our program is growing exponentially due to those facts. So today I'm just going to take about 15 minutes. I'm going to cover off who we are and the Advanced Payments Program, which is a federal government program for farmers. What products are eligible, what you can expect to save, and just a little bit of additional information. So what we are is we are a not-for-profit organization that helps producers by administering cash programs. Like I say, we've been around since 1992, and the programs that we offer are both from the provincial government, the Minister of Agriculture, and the federal government, Ministry of Agriculture. And so we issue funds to producers for operating loans. The funds are all at prime rate or less, and I'll get into that in just a moment. But what the program does is it allows producers and ranchers to spread the marketing of their crops and not have to pay the bank back until such time as the crop is sold. Historically, the banks like to see crop loans paid off by December, March at the latest. And as we get into products such as corn and beans and those crops that are potatoes, those crops that are storable, it doesn't really work for producers. So this program was developed to allow producers a longer period of time to market their crops and base sales decisions on optimum market conditions rather than when they had to pay their bank back. We are made up of a number of member organizations across Canada. We operate in Ontario, Quebec, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and British Columbia today. And again, if there's about 197,000 commercial farms in Canada, and if you add up our member organizations and the members that they have, it works out to about 150,000. So we have pretty good clout when it comes to speaking with governments or ministries, because we do have a large membership. The program that we use the most is called the Advanced Payments Program. And under that program, you can borrow up to $1 million. And the nice part about the program is the government pays the interest on the first 250,000. So the first 250,000 costs you nothing in interest. And if you want to and qualify for more, anything over 250,000 and up to $1 million is at the prime rate based on Nova Scotia's prime rate of the day, which is around 4.95% today. So you can borrow up to $1 million. It's going to cost you less than 5%. And again, the first 250,000 is interest free, and the government pays for that interest. What we do is we lend up to 50% of the market value of the commodity. So for example, and I will use ginseng for example, if ginseng is expected to be $22 a pound, we will lend up to 11. Or if corn is at $4 a bushel, we will lend up to 2. And that usually gets the producer up until just about harvest time with their crop inputs. The repayment terms on it is to pay us back within 18 months or when you sell your commodity, whichever comes first. The 18 months allows a lot of people to store their crops and to again sell those crops when market conditions are more preferable. It's a government program. It's put out by Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, and today there's about 35,000 farmers across Canada that use the program. In terms of savings on the program, with the interest-free portion and with the remainder at prime, we've just kind of done this little chart up. So if you're borrowing just the $250,000 and you're currently paying prime plus 2 or prime plus 3, there's about a $20,000 savings in interest that you can recoup. If you're borrowing more than that and you're borrowing up to $1 million and paying prime plus 2 or 3 at the bank, there's a savings between $30,000 and $40,000 in interest that can be recouped by yourself. What we covered. So today, ACC covers about 4,500 different products, everything from grains and oilseeds to horticultural field crops, livestock, greenhouse vegetables, cut flowers and potted plants, nursery products, Christmas trees, forage, biomass, maple syrup, honey, hemp, tobacco, ginseng, certainly all the tree fruits, apples, cherries, peaches, all of those are all covered. So pretty much every commodity that we grow in Ontario is qualified under this program to obtain funds. There's been a lot of changes in the program in the last 10 years. The program historically 10 years ago was basically run like many typical government programs in that there was lots of paperwork and it was slow. And so one of the things we looked at doing was revamping our entire process in order to improve that. So back in 2012, we had about 56 different applications that no one could figure out which one we were supposed to use. Today we have 3. The application was about 52 pages long. Today it's 3. our funding time back in 2012, so the time we got a loan application in and signed and the money funded was about 52 days, 54 days. Today it's less than 14. We're down to, from the time we get a signed application in to the time the amount is funded, actually today is about 8 days. So it's done very quickly. We have fully functional online statements, so a producer can log into our portal on our website and find out exactly what's owing at any time or what's been paid at any time. We offer now online payments, so no different than you could go on your cell phone and pay your Rogers bill or your hydro bill or anything else. You can go online today and make payments to us. No different, just set us up as a payee. We had an old program that we used from about 1998 to 2018 or 19. We spent about $6 million to put in a new program called AgriLoan. It was a $5 or $6 million investment and allows us to punch loans out a lot quicker and provide a lot better information now than we ever have been able to. We've got on here customer service level. We get more compliments from our customer service team than we do anything else that our organization does. We have a satisfaction rating of 4.85 out of 5 on the web, and like I say, we try to work closely with the farmers. We understand, there's good times, there's bad times, there's good years, there's bad years. And as well as the timing of the loan application, we try to do that early or late in the winter. Usually in January, February, we're starting to fill loans out for the program year that starts April the 1st. The fine print of the whole thing, there's an application fee. Whether you borrow $5,000 or $10,000 or $1 million, there is a $1,000 application fee, which is paid at the time the loan is approved and funded. The way we do that is if you borrow $250,000 from us interest-free, we're going to send you $249,000. So we hold back the application fee of $1,000 on all of our fundings so that you don't have to write a check or you don't have to submit payment to us. It's done automatically. There's no upfront costs. There's no hidden costs. So long as the loan never goes into default, there is no other cost. So it's the $1,000 fee to get up to $1 million is very reasonable. If you're going to financial institutions, you can compare it to what you currently are paying for a annual loan review. What we need from you is very simple. We need a proof of Canadian citizenship. Sometimes we will ask for a previous year's financial statement, and that's only sometimes. If you are a corporation or a co-op, we will ask for corporate documents if applicable, which usually include your articles of incorporation or your shareholder registry. And in order to qualify for these loans, you must carry either production insurance or agri-stability, or have the crop harvested and be in inventory. Those three things, one of those three things are required in order to qualify for the loan. The application process, we know producers and ranchers are getting tired of filling out paperwork. So what we do is we complete an application over the phone. We time this. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to complete an application. Applications are made available prior to program date. So April 1st is really the start of the program for us. But we do fill out applications in December and January, February, March. so that on April 1st, the money is able to be funded that day, and we can get it out to you as quick as possible. For a person who is currently or has used the program before, a renewal of the program now takes about 6 minutes over the phone. We'll complete the renewal with you and send it to you electronically in order to put electronic signature on it and send it back. And basically, you're done for the year. So it's very quick. It's very easy. And we get a lot of producers who come back year after year and love the fact that it's a 5-minute phone call. If your bank currently has security on your crops or inventory, we work with the banks. We don't force you to. We work with the banks to get a priority agreement on the production insurance or on the agri-stability or on the inventory, one of those, in order that you don't have to deal with the banks on that. And we are always successful in getting that. As I said, the application fee is $1,000. Everything is done electronically. We're a paperless organization. We don't have files. Everything is electronic. So we do the application electronically. We do the fund transfer to you electronically, and you're encouraged to make payments to us electronically. We used to have to do credit checks. We no longer do those on people. And again, as I mentioned earlier, producers can repay their loans online, just like they do their utilities or their cell phone bill. There's lots of ways to connect to us through X or through Facebook, through our own website, through LinkedIn, just Twitter, Instagram. There's just lots of ways to connect with us. We have people who are on the phones willing to talk to producers and ranchers from 7:30 in the morning until 7:30 in the evening. So we're on about 12 hours with our call center, and this allows for the different time zones across Canada. So the process is very easy. We encourage farmers to take it. Certainly during the current times, the banks we're finding right now are a little bit more conservative than they have been historically. And our second largest referral source for business is banks telling their producers to call us. And we work with all of the banks and Farm Credit Corporation to try to provide the best service possible to their customers and eventually our customers. And like I say, we have a number of producers who use the program consistently. Our returns are extremely high. We have about a 95% return in our customers, so they're extremely loyal once they get on the program and want to use the program. And again, as interest rates float up and down and probably back up again, the program starts to become a lot more interesting and a lot more beneficial to producers. A year ago, when we saw interest rates starting to climb, the numbers I showed you earlier of saving $30,000 or $40,000, people were saving $60,000 or $70,000. So that money might as well be in the arms of or in the pockets of the producers and the ranchers than in the bank's coffers. So again, we are a not-for-profit organization. We're not doing it for the money. We try to get funds out as quickly as possible, and we encourage producers to give us a shout, give us a call. It's 1-800 number, and we'd be happy to speak to all of you. So, any questions? Well, if you do have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Feel free to give me a call. My cell phone number is 519-504-2888, and we'd be happy to talk to you. And again, thank you, Lee, and thank you to Nurture Growth for the opportunity. We appreciate that very much. We like getting out in front of producers and those associated with agriculture, including yourselves, and talking about our program. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Jay, for joining us today and sharing, the program. I think that it's so important that we share, knowledge and we share information that can help farmers.